students the shape of aces, the hearts, the diamonds, and so on and so forth. Also, you can use different colors pieces like the one in the slide. This is randomly happens. And now this is the question. Are you familiar with the random grouping strategies?
Yes. Are you familiar with the random grouping strategy? Please share some examples from your classroom. You can unmute yourself and answer.
Yes, you can do that, guys. Okay. So, I need just some examples, guys, for your classrooms. So, small light says yes. Okay. Okay, guys, let's go. And also, we have someone here that says, I sometimes resort to random groups, okay, for my students. That's good. Most important is to have your reasons behind in small light. It's very important. All groups or all styles, techniques, strategies are very important, but what is more important is that you have your logical reasons behind. Okay, very nice. By giving them random numbers and distribute them. Okay, very nice, perfect. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Syed.
Yes, Mr. Ahmed, yes, please.
Yes, so with young learners, I think teachers can use some colored sticks or colored shapes to group the students randomly.
Yes. Yes, very impressive. That's a very good idea.
Yes,
yes, sure.
And young learners like this idea, the colors and
yeah.
moving.
As I told you before, Mr. Ahmed, you are the king of the class. You are the moderator. You are the facilitator. You can check which strategy can makes it's better or works well with your students. Then go through. This is absolutely right. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed.
Thank you, Mr. Syed. You're welcome.
Okay. And now let's go to when, guys. When can I do that? You can do that. I mean random grouping during mixer activities like find someone who, and we talked before like that. And also you can do that concerning or while you have conversation grades. Find someone who is very important in that tactics, by the way.
So في عشان أنزل.
Okay. Why, guys? We have the reasons here we talked about. And also we came to that point before finishing the time or the period of the session. We agreed that we have to divide our work like the slide in front of you, tripartite or three groups. We have the category, how does it work, what does it look like? Matching piece, as I said, in that case, your students have to find their matches to create groups. As we said, you can give a student a specific color. Then you ask from the jelly beans, for example. Then you can ask him or her to join or to look for or search for the others who are holding the same color. Also, you can use cards. Sure, you can use numbers, flashcards, or something like that. I myself used to apply a tactic or a strategy I wanna share with you, which is I'm used to cutting a picture from the magazines or from the newspapers, especially if it was for a well-known personality. Then I cut this picture or photo into 3 or 4 pieces. Then I give each single student a piece and ask him or her to join those with the rest pieces. For example, if I give somebody the part of the arm, so he has to find the others holding the other parts of the body, and so on and so forth. In doing so, you are grouping your students randomly. Okay, so what about counting off? In that case, your students count off and find the groups with their same numbers. With anything that's sequential, be careful to that point, guys. It must be sequential. Why is it sequential? To guarantee that they are going systematically. For example, you can say number 1, 2, 3. So this group A, B, C, this another group with Monday, group with Tuesday, Wednesday, and something like that. Or also you can use the lineups. What can we do through lineups? Let them line up by their, for example, birthday, by their height, by their hair color, or something like that. Then also you can follow on the line, making a circle to make sure this is a group, and following the same tactic with another group. Sure, by question marks here, I refer to other tactics you can use freely. And here is a reflection question. What other techniques do you use to put your students into random groups in your classrooms? Do you have any other techniques, guys? Regardless of counting off or line up. What are many other techniques do you use to put your students into random groups or pairs?
We can use something, we call it ice cream sticks.
Yes, I'm waiting for that, by the way, miss. Just this is the tactic I'm waiting for. This is very nice. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, what else, guys?
Also, we can pose some questions, and the first ones to answer can be grouped.
Yes.
Yes, it can be grouped in one group. Okay.
Amazing. I love that. Amazing, Mr. Man. I love it.
We can also play some board games, and the ones who reach first come in one group.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice. So asking students to line up, guys, according to a rule, is a quick and easy way to create groups. That's true. Once everyone is standing in line, you can divide your students into any group size, or simply fold line in the middle to form pairs. This is related to lineups, by the way. So also you can try these questions to get students to line up for groups. You can ask them like that. What do you want to be when you grow up? You will have answers, right? Then you can grow them or line up them up from A to Z. Another tactic. Guys, how do you like your salsa? You'll find a lot of or a bunch of answers. They line them up from mild to zesty hot. Okay. Another tactic, you can say birthday order. Can group by month or day of the month. It's another tactic. Also, you can ask them, what is your favorite food? You will have bunches of answers. Now line them up from A to Z. Finally, you can ask them, what is your address? So students line up in the numerical order, you can say, of their street addresses, and so on and so on. I think that makes better. Okay. Great, thank you for that, guys. And now We're gonna move to the blend grouping, likability, if you remember that, and cross or mixed ability or grouping. But keep the something very important in mind, the guys, that you can say the techniques. Never to forget that the techniques you are using, put it in your mind. You will ask why don't we limit that as ability group? In the next slide, you will see that I group students in similar groups. See? But not only likability. Why? Because there are a lot of similarities here. The similarity lies in learners' interests, yes. Learners' age, perfect. Learners' knowledge or ability about the topic. Learners' descriptions, personality traits, or learning preferences. These are some similarities between likability or cross-mixed ability. So be sure of that. And now, what likability groupings could you use in your classmates? Have you experienced before using likability groupings in your classrooms, guys? If so, share them with us if you please. Okay, what are some other likability groupings could you use in your classrooms?
I think those groups who can like or can have the same abilities, have the same levels in the exam, have same levels in مثلا in a competition or something, so they go together.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
Dr. Hiba, did they want to say something?
Hello, Mr. Syed.
Hello, Ms. Hiba. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. That seems to be a very interesting presentation. To share my ideas about this question, I'd like to say that most of us, we will find that the students are on grade level, but a very few section in your class, there are the advanced that know everything before you teach, especially if they take private lessons and the are top achievers. And the others are those below grade level. Who fall behind the other grades, so they come to this grade very low. So when you try to divide groups, you can, according to ability, you have the advanced, the on grade level, and the below grade level. Of course, for the advanced, you will get enrichment exercises that maybe it works like critical thinking or any other higher order thinking skills or extra knowledge. The on grade level, it's the average learning that you work on the learning outcomes. And of course, the below grade, sometimes you need to reteach or reteach something from the previous grade that they missed.
Also,
sometimes the below grade level needs some Arabic.
Very
It's inevitable. Yes, sometimes it's inevitable. You don't have anything else to do.
They are absolutely, they are. You are right, totally, you are right.
Miss Fatima Ibrahim said that she thinks that there must be a sort of harmony among students in groups. If they are different levels, they will benefit from each other. They will add something new to their experience and learning.
Yeah, very nice. Sure, this is very nice, terrific. I love that, guys. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, Ms. Hiba. Dr. Hiba, I'm so sorry.
It's a Hiba, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, mister?
Okay,
Yes, I divide my classroom. One time I made it one time.
Only one time?
Yeah, no, this for dividing them according to the relatives in the classroom, or the who are living in the same street.
So you are using likability strategy.
Yes.
Okay.
I give them a competition, and one street won the competition. They were very happy.
Perfect. That's very awesome.
Okay,
It makes sense, by the way.
Mr. Ahmed Hawater said effective to apply differentiation.
Yeah, sure, you have to. Yes, right. Good, responsive, and informative sharings, by the way, guys. Thank you very much for that. Now, you can ask, when can I use the ability groups or birds, sir? Sure, you can do that during controlled practice activities. Most of us know what I mean by controlled practice activities. In that activity, like imagine that you are trying with your students to create a new student on your team. That was the activity. In that case, you can share those who are below level, the intermediate, and the uppers, or the toppers, you can say. But make sure to ask each one up to his abilities and personal traits. For example, you can ask those for below level to just, okay, guys, like that. What's the picture I'm holding here? You're gonna find someone to say, this is the arm. Another one from the below level. I mean, you can say, oh, this is the head. Okay, now you can shift or go to the middle, then ask them to write sentences about a specific body part. Then go for the toppers. You can ask them further questions like, okay, what is the importance, or why do you think this part is important in our body? Then they are gonna to write some phrases or sentences. By doing so, you are controlling the practice activities. Number two, to work at stations, especially if you are grouping your students inside the class in small groups, then you have to jump or move on to the other station. To complete form-focused tasks. Yes, very important, guys. This is very important. By doing so, you are guaranteeing that you have chosen the right time to activate the minds. This is when. So it's still another question, why? Why should I do that? The variation process, guys, takes the first priority here to vary the work of each group. For students not to go bored, they have to feel that something new is coming. For example, you are grouping your students up to level, the topic, the amount of work, reading, grammar point, focuses, blah, blah, blah. We have many things to go through. To be able to meet the students where they are. Most of our teachers, frankly speaking, let's be honest about that, and never to put our heads into the sand. The majority of our teachers inside the fields up till now, imagining that once he is there above the level and the students are there below level, no sharing point will gather together with them. Do you think this is academically true? Not yet. Sure, the answer is not. You have to dive down to save your students, then getting up and up again together. If you still occupying your position, this is in the higher position, and the students are still in their lower positions, no score will be achieved. Every one of you, or every one of us, the teacher will be there, and the students will be down there. So let's agree about a mean or a tactic that gathers us together to be able to meet the students where they are. Classroom management, oh, very impressive. The point we are complaining day and night about. It's a good idea now to control or manage your classroom. The level appropriate work and the team building. You have to teach your students how to form a team. And now, how? So we know about when, about the time, about the reason, and finally, how? How can I do that? Decide what factor you want to group students by. Before stepping inside the class, each of us has to think about his or her agenda. So also the same here. If you wanted to group your students, decide first why and how and when shall I do that? How can I group my students? Identify your factor you wanted to group your students by. Like we said, pass out matching pieces with intention. Now, intentionally, not randomly. For example, decide this group for the essays and decide this group for the diamonds, decide this group for the hertz, and so on and so forth. Also, you can give your students chances to check their reading ability, their personality, yet their age, and or interests. Let them be themselves, guys. Never just to let them there in the corners. Just they are wandering in the world they are knowing nothing about. And now decide how you will group your students. As you see here, you can group them online, by the way. In this way, you can use online and in classes. Sure, you are gonna to give a group that's titled the cat group or Cinderella group, then give the lists of or the names under each category. This tactic is valid online. Decide how you will group students. Pass out matching pieces with intention. Arrange materials with student names or group names. That's very impressive. So this is the way you can go through, guys. And now, what other techniques do you use to put your students into likability?
Groups or pairs.
Do you have some other techniques for likability in your classrooms? Please share us. Okay, still we wait for some techniques related to likability groups or pairs in your classrooms. Okay, guys, TikTok, time up. So Ms. Nagwa Mustafa says, according to their marks in the latest test, very nice.
Mr. Ahmed Hawassi.
That's very nice.
Mr. Ahmed said, yes, terror card, but it's for baking for this.
Sure, it's for picking.
Yes, Mr.
Yes.
According to their names.
Yes, very nice. Thank you. Thank you, very nice. That's very nice sharing, guys. So the names or cards. And some guys may ask you guys also, how can I intentionally group learners? It's a good question here. You can do that by making the groups by names, for example, as you said. So all students are open the same shared document. This is online, by the way, for those who are asking whether this tactic is valid for online or in-field classes. If you wanted to use that tactic online, so by making groups by names, for example, so all the students are open the same shared document and specifying each group to a name, for example. So like we said, I see cat group, Cinderella group. So this is an adaptation for grouping yourselves or visit the broke out rooms. Suddenly, if you wanted to make sure that your students in progress, make a jump or a sudden breakout rooms if you are teaching online. So we are gonna to refresh the screen, then you will note who goes beyond what.
Okay, Ms. Shaimat said according to the subject they love much. Okay, and Mr. Ahmed said the variety is key to successful grouping. And I add we can divide them according to their the number of their names in the list, in the class list.
Yes, very, Mr. Ahmed, expert, 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 Mr. Ahmed, very terrific. So guys, let us now move to our last type of grouping, which is cross-ability. Now planned grouping, cross-ability. Some may say this is called the mixed ability. Both are right, by the way, in which students work together in groups or pairs in which members have mixed levels or language ability. This is the definition. Okay, back. Are you familiar with a cross-ability grouping strategies, guys? Have you ever experienced such a tactic or a strategy inside your classes? If yes, please share some examples.
Excuse me, Mr. Syed?
Yes.
It's Hiba again. To be honest about the mixed abilities, I used it in, you can say I got to the advanced students, they were, I think 5, and their task was to teach the other groups. So the average and the below grade level were placed in groups together. And the advanced level students, there was one leader in each group and their task is to teach.
Oh, impressive.
So you can say it was used for peer tutoring.
This is a kind, you can say it's related to mentoring also. Now you are using your leaders or the toppers or the advanced students to play the role of a mentor.
A mentor or a tutor.
Which is very nice.
I think yes.
Which is very nice. Absolutely right. Very good.
No, but I don't remember that I used it as a mentor. It was a tutor. They were reteaching the content. Or I know that they know the content before, and it would be very boring for them to listen to my own instruction. So I tried to make the full use of them because they know the material before. So teach your friends, and I was acting as a guide or an observer.
You have to
be I will monitor the performance of the student teacher. So this was my task.
That's very nice task, by the way, Ms. Hiba. Now you are anticipating the minds of your students, which is very, very impressive. Thank you for that. Okay, guys, very nice. Good answers. Yes.
Yes. Yes, I use peer working. Yes, I use peer working by inviting class 6, for example, to teach class 1, to teach primary 1 in their free time. It's
In your presence, miss. What I mean is that you asked another class which is high level
yes,
to take the role of teachers, for example, or tutors to teach some below level,
yes, they
while
admire
you
it
are
very
there
much.
inside the class watching, monitoring, and
Yes,
observing what is happening.
I can correct mistakes or reading, writing on the board. They admire it.
While the teaching process itself, you interrupted your students, you mean by correcting the mistakes, or
Yes.
you just give yourself a time until they finish, then you jump to correcting the mistakes, which is very important, by the way, miss.
Yes, according to the situation itself.
Yeah.
But they admire it very much.
Yes, that's very nice. But be sure of that, this point, my dear sister here. If you are
Yes.
trying to correct the mistakes of your students, try to decide the suitable time to do that.
Yes.
Especially if you are giving your students a task-based learning activity. In that case, you have to delay your recorrecting the mistakes until the end of the session, or until the end of the activity. And
Yes.
in some cases, you have to interrupt and stand there showing what is right and showing what's wrong. Sure, this happens in a smooth way, and I'm sure you do that. Anyhow,
Yes.
this is very nice. This is very nice.
So I should choose intelligent and clever students from class 6 or primary 6 to teach primary 1.
You have
Or
to.
primary 2.
Yes, you have to. That's very terrific. Perfect. Thank you very much for that. How nice. Now I am in a circle of experts, by the way. Thank you for that, guys. Now, when? What is the exact or the appropriate time to do that? I'm talking about cross-ability groups. What is the exact or the suitable time to go through this tactic? Sure, during communicative practice, among is role plays, dialogues, process writing practice, or for group presentations, team competitions. So I have a point here, or a question here, guys. Why presentation? For group presentations, why group presentations by name? Because each one has a task and is asked to finish, which is called the rules. Imagine the activity here, vocabulary scavenger hunt. It's a kind of activity that we use today to use day and night in our classes to make sure that our students are critical thinkers and trying to gather vocabularies in different ways. Sure, scavenger, as you may know, it's a kind of an animal, or you can say it's a kind of people who try to search for what others caught or killed, like some animals do. So the activity is called the scavenger hunt. Imagine the picture you see here and try to note the team rules. Sure, we have a guy here plays the role of scribe or writer, which is in orange shirt. And also we have somebody who is responsible for the materials and another guy who is responsible for playing the role of timekeeper. So this is appreciative here to apply cross-ability groups in case you are applying communicative practices or presentations. So why? What are the reasons behind? To guarantee fairness. Now you are sure that.
Yes, Mr. Zaid, please,
Yes.
we will go right now and be back with the same one.
Oh, time is crazy. I'm so sorry for that.
Okay.
Yes, Ms. Amani, okay.